Hello there everyone, this is Crits back at it, and today I just wanted to share some really quick thoughts on the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo that was recently revealed, just because this felt just way too impactful for me not to talk about it. What they showed us in their 9-minute video appears to be so impactful to me when it comes to how next-gen gaming will develop in these upcoming years, how our perception of gaming, especially as a visual medium, will develop in these upcoming years, and what the boundaries of what's possible are going to be in this next generation of gaming consoles, as well as, of course, gaming PCs. So just a week ago there was this Xbox Series X reveal coming out that was supposed to show first look game footage that would be representative of what would be possible on the console and what we could expect from it. And to be honest, I was never someone who owned an Xbox. I also didn't necessarily plan on buying an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 this year, but because of pure interest I did watch it nevertheless, and I was one of the people who were rather let down by it. This didn't look that much next gen to me, and of course I understand this was only third-party titles. We didn't see Halo Infinite, we didn't see any other announcement for a first-party Xbox title, so these are pretty much all games that are still being developed for multiple platforms, not for Xbox Series X exclusively. So you might say that that is why most of them still look pretty much like current-gen games, except for better effects, better textures and everything. Of course that was a thing, but it just didn't look to me like this would justify buying an entire new system for these games. Of course the first-party titles might change that drastically, they might look so much better than what we've seen so far, but we don't know yet. This just didn't make me say, wow, I've got to get that system. And what at least some people seemed to be saying back then was that we had already reached a point in graphical development where they just thought we're already basically at the level of photorealism, so it won't get that much better on the pure visual side of things. So they weren't expecting huge graphical innovations because games already look pretty close to photorealism on current gen hardware. And to a certain extent I could even see that argument. Some of the games running on PS4 or Xbox and PC right now already look pretty close to photorealism, that's true. But in comes Epic Games and proves all of those people wrong. I discovered the demo they published about 5 to 10 minutes after it got posted online, and I wasn't expecting something like that at all, just like I think most people didn't expect much at that point. And again, I just clicked on it out of pure curiosity, because you don't get to see a new engine, especially a new iteration of a renowned engine like the Unreal Engine 4, which has been, in my eyes, the staple of gaming visuals technology in these past few years. And it seriously only took a few seconds for them to make my jaw literally drop. Never ever have I seen a demo or gameplay trailer that has made me that speechless. Sure, there were some trailers where I almost couldn't believe how good those games looked, but I always used to ask myself, can this really be true? Is this just pre-rendered? Is this going to get downgraded again? Or I used to get really excited about it, and I used to tell my friends about how they should look at that game or look at that trailer, that footage that was put out. But never ever has it occurred to me that I sat in front of my monitor with my mouth open because I could not believe what had been shown to me. What Epic Games showed with Unreal Engine in this video proved what I deemed possible wrong. This literally broke the boundaries of what I, and I believe also many other people, thought to be achievable in a somewhat reasonable time span. And yeah, there was a lot of talk about triangles and billions of them being on the screen at the same time and being converted by the engine losslessly in no time at all. But just seeing it made me feel like this was truly a next stage in the evolution of gaming visuals. And you know, something that people have been speculating about for years now has been that at some point in time we would reach the point where in-game visuals would actually look better than real life, and I believe this is the point. We might have reached it now. Now, of course, it's a tough thing to say in the cave shots the shots of stones and dirt and water. What does better than real life even mean? Literally any video game with a realistic art style does nothing else than imitating real life as closely as possible. So better than real life wouldn't really make much sense in most contexts. But something that I would like to bring up in that discussion is that statue they showed, or should I rather say, those 500 statues they showed. The one statue alone is a mind-blowing example of digital craftsmanship, if you want to call it that. Making this model in ZBrush alone must have taken them days, if not weeks, to get it to this level of detail and polish. But making this statue as a real object would require such an enormous level of craftsmanship, as well as money, dedication, and, most of all, time. I can't even imagine how long it would take to get this thing finished. And that is just one statue. What they were able to do with this, of course, was just copy it and paste it into the same room 500 times. Now, if one of those statues in real life would take so much effort to create it, I don't even think making 500 statues with an equal amount of detail and quality would be practicable. Something that does come to mind in comparison is the famous Terracotta Army, which consists of 8,000 life-size statues of soldiers made out of clay. And while these statues are an incredible work of art in their own right, especially regarding the fact there are 8,000 of them, but still they are nowhere as detailed as the statue depicted in this demo. So this is kind of what I mean by games might look better than reality now in some contexts. Cultural objects as well as locations can now be as detailed as could possibly be imagined. Something that just doesn't seem as possible to me in our reality. So to sum it all up, yes, we have definitely come very close to photorealism in the current gen of gaming consoles, but now this is photorealism. Now there's a few questions that still remain regarding this technology. First of all, of course, there is the question of budget and pricing. So first, what is the cost of games that are produced using this kind of technology and this level of detail gonna be? And second, what are these games going to cost us? I for once cannot really imagine them staying on the same pricing level that we have grown used to during the current generation. So about 60 or 70 bucks. That was the price for new PS4 or Xbox games right now. But the question I'm asking is that actually gonna stay like that, or are we looking at prices that go up to 90 or maybe even 100 euros? Then my next question is, how are other consoles going to be able to deal with this new engine? We have already heard a lot of talk over these last couple of weeks about the extremely powerful SSD technology that PS5 is going to feature, and I'm really wondering about how much that will actually affect what is going to be possible on each platform. So say for example, will the Xbox Series X that doesn't feature this SSD technology be able to use it to the same extent? Or especially, could we see this engine run on the Nintendo Switch? And if so, how much of an improvement is it going to bring to that console? Which of course doesn't have anywhere near the technology that the next generation consoles are going to feature. Also, what I'm really eager to see is how grass or vegetation simulation in general is going to look, because that was something that we didn't really get to see in this trailer at all. Grass and plants, in my opinion, are some of the hardest things to simulate in video games realistically. Like animating grass that bends with wind in real time realistically. That is something that I wonder how it will look in this engine. But aside from these few questions, I was really impressed by what we got to see in this demo. This to me really felt like the next step in gaming visual evolution. I'm very excited to see what we are actually going to get as far as games go that use this engine in the next 1 or 2 years. If they will look anywhere near as good as this demo, which I frankly doubt, because that is just not how things work. Developers need time to adapt to these new technologies and need to learn how to use them. But I really do see a lot of potential within this new engine. And I, for my part, can't wait to see what developers are going to do with this. So with this, I'm going to wrap things up. Tell me what you thought about the Unreal Engine 5 demo in the comments. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
also added a ton of new functionality to run fluid simulations like you see in the water below.